Kenneth Bird. My company is ILEG Technology Screens. ILEG Technology Screens. And yeah, Jaime Fernando Gonzalez has more problems coming this way. Why? The cube. So that cube you see in there, it's my artwork. It actually is not only is the name attached to the copyrights for under Crystal Age Technology Screens, but that particular artwork, that cube, belongs to my company. And clearly I can see that you've used our cube to put down for your 3D printing business. Now, like I said before, this is where, again, this guy just continually gets himself in trouble. I am not going to CCB for this. I am going to be going to, because I'm pretty sure we should give you to get him in court, hopefully, before all that pops off. But, I mean, no, CCB may take too long. But if we do the CCB, we could do it through cyber judges. I gotta figure out how we're going to go about this one. But anyway, we do have to get it filed. From the door, that's definitely going to happen. What is this on my PC? But anyway, yeah, so that cube, Fernando, is mine. It actually belongs to my copyright. So I have a 2D artwork copyright on my artwork right there. And you took it and put the 3D on it. You used it. So that means you stole our copyright. It's called a similarity lawsuit. Can't use anything involving, and since we have involving anything involves our company, and since we do have proof of evidence that we did file with CCB, that we had a process server come to your front door, we're filing again against you. So we will be added in with the courts, showing evidence that you have a history of stealing people's copyrighted, trademark, or patent products, because clearly we can show the courts that we have oodles of pictures of you using a 3D printer to go in and take people's stuff. Man, I'm telling you, could not line this up any better than what it is. We have the guy stealing hundreds and thousands of dollars of merchandise using a 3D printer, and then use our logo, which is copyrighted, to basically advertise the business of stealing people's stuff by using a 3D printer. You can't get any more crazier than that. I told you, we can't make this stuff up. We can't. You can't make it up. Fernando, I'm going to have a process serve at your door soon, very, very soon, beating on your door. And mind you, this was different. We can get anyone in that apartment over the age of 18, easily. We just need, anything will spark off his problems. We're trying to spark, ignite this craziness. But this right here, come on, man, you're going to use my cube. That's my artwork at the end of the day. You're trying to be nasty at the end of the day. That's what kind of person you are at the end. You don't learn nothing at all whatsoever. On top of that, we're going to the judge the cease and desist order that told you to stay away from the Crystal Age logo. And you thought your page was, what do you call it? Well, the page right now, if you notice, he's probably wondering, how are we able to upload your page like that, even though you shut it down on Facebook? Here's the thing about Facebook at the end of the day, that if any open tabs on your page are still active, they don't shut down. Only the one that we were actually on. I got 4 of these tabs that are already open. Well, that's how it works, buddy. So you thought you hit the page. Technically, as long as we don't move anything, if I go refresh the page, it'll disappear. But it's there. So that's enough for me to go in and get pictures, videos, everything I need, proving that you went in and you used our copyrighted material without permission. And this is again, this is involving linked to a 3D printing business that you use to rip off companies. Buddy, boy, man, I told you, some people are just meant to self-destruct. They're designed to self-destruct. That's what their purpose is in life. I can't wait to talk about this with one of my lawyer friends. Counterfeiting company, and use the copyright to commit their logo. Can't make it up. See, everything happens for a reason. It happened for a reason for us to be on that particular page that had that tab open at the same time, because now you can be prosecuted for it. So, get ready for the new process server, because it will be coming to your front door. And by the way, like I said, these are different. The other process server, when it came to your front door, was just for you. This one can serve anyone in that apartment over the age of 18, which means your kids, your wife, all of them. Anyone who steps foot out of that building is getting served. Boy, told you, can't make this up. Can't make this up. Yeah, Fernando, the cube is mine. I had someone over, I forgot where they were at. They had used their cube for something they were using it for. And I went over and sent over an email to them showing them that the cube belonged to us. They were very nice and apologized and removed it off their website. Yeah, that cube right there, you can't touch it. It's ours. It's our 2D artwork. It's registered under the United States government, which means, Jamie, again, this is the reason why when you get on camera and you cry about saying, oh, it's racist because we contacted ICE on your situation, and you feel that you have committed no crimes. There are crimes around you 24/7 for a person who sits there and makes it all about race. That poor me, someone came in and attacked me because I was doing nothing wrong whatsoever. Yeah, that's a copyrighted material right there. That's ours. It belongs to our company. So, since we already had a case, since we already had a process server, should be no problem opening up the case, get the process server over there, nail your door with no problem. Or, I'd rather have them not nail the door. I'd rather just have them come in there and beat on your door and let all your neighbors know at the end of the day of why they're there. Because they scream out who they are when they hit that door. And your neighbors are going to hear it. I'm going to hire 6 of them this time. And 6 of them are going to randomly hit that apartment over and over again, again, again. Sooner or later, your neighbors are going to be very upset, and they're going to contact your landlord. That's what we want to trigger off. And your landlord has got, I'm going to advise the process service, when the owner gets out there, make sure you give him all my information for him to reach out to me. Because I got no problem making contact with him. I explained to him all the stuff that's been going on in that apartment and let him know that he's being sued. Because again, number one, you have an illegal immigrant in your apartment. Nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, he committed serious crimes in that apartment, which makes him now responsible for this. He doesn't have a lease to be in the building, which means other tenants can file a lawsuit against him also too. You have a lease, Nando. We know you don't have a lease. I checked. You don't have a lease. Here's a social security number to get a lease. You don't have one here at all. So you don't have a lease. You have a lease, you're in an apartment and breaking the rules, because everybody in that apartment, I'm pretty sure, has a lease and you don't have one. Unless you made a fake one, that's a fake document. You're in trouble, you can get in trouble for just signing a fake lease. So he potentially could go to jail. Well, get ready. More problems for you. And Fernando, just because the name's not on it, don't mean you can touch the cube. You can't touch the cube. That's like using the swoosh for Nike and not using the word Nike. Which actually, funny story, got someone sued. They got a couple of t-shirts and put down Mikey, but they used the swoosh. The swoosh is basically trademark. The cube is copyrighted. Doesn't make a difference if her name is not on it. You can't use it because it's a cube. And guess what? That means to the day. You can't leave your apartment anymore. I'm going to make sure that we hire so many process servers that your wife will never be to leave that apartment. If you go outside, you're getting served. And if you get served, well, got to go to court. Now, CCB has it where we're not following through CCB. CCB has it where you would see a cyber judge. You're not going to do a cyber judge. You're going to come here. That's what you're going to do. Because if we get you here, we can have you arrested. Because I have charges on you for basically committing crimes against me, my family members, and so forth. So I'm not bothering with the CCB on this one. I'm going to go down and file charges with the courts, and that way we can get you here. And if we get you here, that means that you're getting locked up. So that's what we're going to do, Fernando. No CCB. I'm following here. Now, my medical condition, which means you have to come here. That's what we want. Because once you come here, I can have you arrested. Because we have charges against you, like I said, for the crimes you committed, I can get you arrested. And that's what I'm going to do. making big mistakes. Gee whiz Louise. And also too, I will be reporting along with that the previous process server was at your door, and mind you, I'm the one that has to file the charges for the trademarks for him going out and taking people's stuff. We have to file on our end. This is fantastic. We can show that you violated our copyrights, which we can show already. You've used your 3D printing business to rip off companies and use our copyrighted material to do it, to actually use our logo. So that does not go well for you. That's extremely bad. So with that being said, you're coming to Pennsylvania, Fernando, and when you get here, I got charges against you. I will have you arrested. Everything happens for a reason. It does. Now we get you here. And if you think I can't do this, this is what you do. Go get your attorney and have an attorney reach out to me. Tell an attorney at the end of the day that you used copyrighted material from our company at the end of the day, which that's my cube right there you used without my permission, that you're running an illegal 3D printing, counterfeiting company out of your apartment. Go tell them that at the end of the day. You're not telling anybody anything. What you're going to do is you're going to wait for that processor from the courts to get this. A different processor from the courts. Let you know that you're being, get to go summoned to be seen in court, and you'll be in Pennsylvania, which once you land here, I'm going to have you arrested. I'll be filing additional charges today on this whole copyright thing so we can have that ready for the courts. So let me get to printing out all your stuff so I can get it down there and get it on file, and then I'll contact the FBI because I want it to be FBI to have a record of what's going on, the copyrights, and then I'm going to go down with the control order with immigration law enforcement, and I'm going to put in another complaint about you about touching that copyright because you know darn well that's not yours. So I can have all that on file before you reach here. When you get here, Fernando, I have a criminal case. FBI has one on you too, so you will be arrested. And if you decide that you don't want to show up, then guess what? You'll get a bench warrant. That means California, their law enforcement officers at Baldwin Park will have to come and get you, and then you'll be expedited down here. So either way, you're going to jail. So mind you, also have a video of you, what's it called? Moving on to bigger and better things. We have you in the videos making statements that you were starting a 3D printing business. If you ever deny that you said, well, I don't know how you would get around that one. I really don't know how you would get around that one by saying you didn't run a business when we literally have you on recording, you know, and pointing people to go to different locations to buy stolen merchandise. So keep in mind, Fernando, that videos we didn't show on YouTube, we dubbed a lot of your videos. We just didn't show them all. So that's for court. So we can paint a nice, beautiful picture that you are a counterfeiter, you're undocumented, you came here to steal and rip off America, which you did do. Can't say you didn't, because you did. And you also attacked an American business, which would be us. Now, we have, like I said, tons of evidence that you touch on our copyrights to back up and support that. And that cube, again, like I said, is mine. It's my artwork. So you're not supposed to touch that. The fact you have it up there means we can get you even... Actually, I can speed this process up. I told you, anything you do speeds up the process. This speeds the process up for us. So now, the minute you step foot here in Pennsylvania, I can have you arrested. And if you decide that I'm not going to show up, go ahead. You know what bench warrants are? Oh, by the way, that'll trigger the bounty hunter. You know what the bounty hunter is, right? That Marine, the one you ticked off, you trigger that guy at the end of the day because he's a bounty hunter. So are his friends. They're all bounty hunters. So that means that there's money out for you. It means they're going to go get their money. Good luck running that one at the end of the day. There's a fellow that can find somebody on the other end of the pocket of the earth. And there is someone that his crew were called skeleton crews. You know, there's people at the end of the day. They're like special forces. They were designed to go in, a small crew going to extract people that people wanted here. So I don't think he would have a problem bringing you here on U.S. soil. And he's very good at his job. That's when you got nasty with. So It's interesting. You'll get a chance to maybe meet him. But I would advise you, well, I don't even know how that's even going to work. You got to fly here. Oh, man, that's going to be a bit of a mess. That's going to be a mess for him. Because I don't even know how he's going to fly. He doesn't have any identity. He's undocumented. How can he get airline tickets? You ever noticed in 15 years, whatever timeline he's been in that apartment, he's never left the state? You know Las Vegas and all that stuff is all part of California, right? It ain't another state. It's all California. All that's part of California. You've never left the state. You've never left the state at all. I've left the state. Out of 50 states, at least I think I've been around 10 of them. And you've never left the state. You can't leave the state because you can't fly. Everything requires identification. Bus tickets, identification, freaking being on a boat, identification, being on an airplane, identification. You need 2 forms of ID everywhere you go. So that's the reason why I know that you've never left the state. Who lives in a state for, I haven't been people in the state for that long, but still people travel, they go places. They go to another state or something. Yeah, you've been in the same state. So that means you can't leave the state. That's going to be a problem. Because you're going to have to leave. You don't have a choice. The court order going to have to leave. All right. Let me see. Crow's Theater Paint for New. And they got the post of the... Man, here's the thing about people who delete pages. When you delete pages, right, and we have to ring the courts in this, the actual page itself is still on the server, on their side. They never delete that. That's theirs. Showing your account, IP address, all that stuff, all your information you put in, it's still on their end. You just delete it on your end. That's basically about it. If they got a court order or need to know, they can actually obtain that. Okay, let me see. I'm going to go in and I want to get pictures of all of this. So just give me a little update, buddy. This is what's coming up next. I am going to go on Monday morning. I'm going to file. I can file today. It's Saturday. We got things to do. Monday morning, I'm going to go in. I'm going to file with the police department and FBI and with Homeland Security, all of them at the end of the day, all 3 of those branches, on you basically going in and touching our cube and basically ripping off our copyrights, including with the other information I have on you about basically using a 3D printer, unlawful 3D printer, to basically steal from companies, American companies and overseas companies, whatever, which you stole from everybody, just about. So all that's going to be put on there. That's basically what you call the nail in the coffin for us. We got you on video talking about where people can meet up at and where people can buy your stuff at, your stolen goods at. So yeah, that's all we need. So now we can see, show at the end of the day, you've been running a counterfeiting ring out of your apartment, and you've been ripping customers off, or actually ripping companies off. So that's it. Also too, you know, the fact that you stole the name Frankenstein and used it, because I have you in videos actually saying that my screen paint makes Frankenstein. Yeah, we have you saying that. All right, so get ready, because you got more problems coming. As I said before, you come here, I'm having you arrested, because again, as I said before, we have charges against you for other things. My family has filed charges against you. So the minute you come here, you're getting arrested. We'll see you in court. Chances are, if he gets arrested and they find out he's undocumented, you know what's going to happen. You know they got the contact. So I don't know how that's going to play out, but either way, it's going to spark the whole thing, get it started. I'm looking at this. I'm on this page. And I'm looking at this. I noticed the cube the first time. And I'm thinking like, no, he didn't touch my cube again. And then it's funny, all the tabs I could have left open, this is a tab that ends up being left open. It's destiny. All of this is meant to happen. We could have had any one of these tabs open up. This is a tab. So if we refresh the page, that tab disappears. And when he shut down the page, this is a tab that stayed open. Interesting, isn't that? It's destiny, Jamie. All this is meant to happen to you. You play a large role in this, but all this is meant to happen to you. You're going to spend the rest of your life behind bars. No one's ever going to hear from you ever again. You have lined it up perfectly. This is perfectly lined up. So I'm going to find all the documents from the processor, we get all the printer, get a nice big folder on you, and then Monday morning, I'm going to walk that over to the police department, file again over there, I'm going to go over to FBI, make an appointment with them, fly over there, because they already got charges on you over there already. That's what ICE asked when we contacted them. As you contact any local law enforcement officers about you, I said, yes, Allentown Police and the FBI has information on him, and I had to give out information to the FBI on basically where your documents are over there, which means criminal documents we have over there. So we're going to be adding this to this, all that, including all the counterfeiting you've been doing with other companies and running a legal business out of your apartment without a license. Oh, this is going to be crazy. So it's interesting how he's going to make it here. I don't even know how he's going to make it here. He doesn't have documents. How he's going to get on an airplane and fly over here? That's just not going to happen. It's going to be a problem. And if you don't show up, man, you don't show up this court hearing, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. They got to put a bench warrant out for you. That means you're going to contact California. Those law enforcement officers are going to have to come to your front door and come get you. And they will bring you over here, just so you know. But you're going to have to tell them something. They're going to answer the end of the day. Why didn't you show up? Bench warrant. You should have to go to court for that. You got to go to court for bench warrants. So you're going to have to explain why you couldn't get on an airplane. And if they find out about that, you know what's going to happen next. All right, getting this started Monday morning. Get on your channel. Scream and yell all you want. Don't make a difference at all, period. You can talk about this and talk, don't make a difference. None of that makes a difference at all, period. I told you, at the end of the day, stop yelling on your channel. Go get a lawyer. I'm telling you that for the last couple of days, get a lawyer. The reason why you can't get a lawyer, because everything you did was criminal act. That's what you did, Jamie. You committed these crimes. You're not an innocent person like you want people to believe at the end of the day. If you were innocent, you would have an attorney, right? You don't have an attorney. You won't get an attorney because you would have to explain to an attorney everything that you just did. And the attorney will look at you like you just committed a crime. What are you talking about? Okay. Yeah, you need to get a criminal defense attorney. Even he can't even save your neck. Does he have any pictures on this? Does he have any evidence? Did you do any videos of this? Please tell me you didn't do any videos. Did you record yourself doing this? You're done. You did. You put, if they ever look up self-snitching and Wikipedia, your face should come up. You are the biggest self-snitcher I've ever seen in my entire life. He literally put a book on himself. And that's what the real attorneys are going to ask you, because he's not used to being around attorneys, these fake attorneys all the time. Real attorneys going to ask you all those questions because they need to know what in the world are they basically fighting against when they get to court. What are the odds of you winning this? What are the odds of them winning this? They have to ask you all these questions. They're kind of ridicule you a little bit like you're the victim, but they have to know all this stuff. Like you're the person who caused all the damage, but you weren't. They have to know all this stuff. You got to tell them everything. And they're going to find out a lot of stuff about you. And they're going to like, well, you know what? I can't take this case because there's an extremely high chance that you're going to jail or being deported. By the way, stop using the word honest, because you're not an honest person, as you can see. You had a habit of saying you're an honest person. All right, then get an attorney, honest person, see how that works out for you. Okay, I would pay so much money to be the fly on that wall to hear that conversation between you and an attorney, when an attorney asks you a question like, so is there any evidence of what he's claiming? Is there any videos of this, pictures? Anything on there showing you actually making these, you're done. The copyrighted material he said you touched, is it actually copyrighted? I'll look it up myself. They will literally go on a computer and look up our copyrights and find that they're real. That conversation is going to be at the end of the day. Well, guess what? You're going to have to prepare yourself for a lawsuit. Yep. If you ask them, please do ask them a question. If you do get one, ask them a question. Would you have to come here to Pennsylvania? You do, because of my medical condition. See, the thing about it, Fernando, what you don't know about my life at the end of the day is that my medical history is being seen by the top doctors in Lehigh County and Pennsylvania. I had all top lung doctors on me because you know why? My case is interesting. I'm a rare subject. Only 200,000 in the entire world have the disease that I have at the end of the day, which makes me an instrument specimen to basically the doctors. Because again, like I said, they don't run into a lot of my kind. But that's why I was being seen by top specialists, the head doctors of these institutions, not by other doctors. And these doctors carry a lot of heavy weight at the end of the day, which means if they come in and say, hey, Mr. Bird, That means Mr. Bird, That means I can't be on an airplane, which unfortunately is kind of jacked up because there's places I want to travel to, but just get a luxury Airbus and you'll do it by land or whatever. Boat, who cares? Anyway, and since I can't fly and I'm at risk of basically dying on one of these planes, if it pressurizes or drops below a certain point where the oxygen levels drop, then that means at the end of the day that you would have to come here. And this is not a light charge. This isn't a charge for an assault charge. This isn't a charge for something light. These are heavy charges. These are all federal charges that you have accumulated with the United States government. So you will be here. Trust me. You will definitely be here. And if they have to come over and get you and bring you back themselves, which chances are that may happen, there is a good possibility they could come get him. They would probably arrest him in California, hold him there, and oh yeah, I forgot about that part. They would probably do it that way. They'll go arrest him where he's at, put him in the hold him, and then they'll call up on this end for the officers that come up on our side to come pick him up and bring him back. That's what they'll do. Because you're not a flight risk. You can't go anywhere because you're undocumented. But they don't know that yet. But digging around, when they look at everything they have to look at, they're going to find out, they're going to see that those charges we filed against you with immigration, they're like, oh, he's not documented. So, they got to contact an ICE unit. So it's a number of ways how this is going to go down. But who are you going to blame for this one? You're going to blame YouTube, you're going to blame me, you're going to blame other people? That's my cube right there. It's my material. Are you understand? I don't have a right to that cube. It's mine. I paid the money, I paid for the attorneys to make sure that's mine. I did a global search, which means they went in and they typed in that cube, put the cube in, and they put my information in, and they did a global search to see if anybody in the world had that cube. No one had it. You know how copyrights work. So they made that mine. And I have a certificate and a registration number saying the 2D artwork is mine, which you are using right now on your page to use it for a counterfeiting operation that you're running out of your apartment. You know how bad that sounds right now? How I just said that? If a judge hears that or anybody hears that, how bad that sounds? So we got you ripping off companies and stealing my copyrighted material for your logo. How bad is that? I told you I'm going to get you out of the country. Everything happens for a reason. It's interesting that right here, that page right there froze when he took down the page. Isn't it interesting? Everything happens for a reason. Let me get my phone on and get pictures of all of this. I'll take this down Monday morning. And we'll be filing more charges against you. But this time, Fernando, I'm going to get you here to Pennsylvania. Once I put that file with the courts, we explain everything to them, the situation, all the pictures, everything we have on you, videos, all that stuff. It should be no problem in getting that court order to go through so we can get you here to Pennsylvania. And the minute you step foot down here, or the minute they find out that these charges are on you, they have to come get you, you'll be arrested. It's interesting how I walk past that prison multiple times. Over here, we have a prison down here. I walk past that prison multiple times. That's where you're going to be at. Because you're not going back to Cali. I can tell you that much. You will not be going back to California. For what? That you committed crimes on there. If you committed crimes over in California, someone's followed you for you over there, then you'll be a back and forth kind of thing. But from what I know on my end, you committed crimes here. So you'll be down here. If your family wishes to come down, hey, they're more than welcome. But I doubt they will. I doubt they will. If you're here, then what does that mean at the end of the day, Jamie? What are the odds? Maybe some of them did go and get their citizenship. Maybe some of them did. Hopefully they did. Hopefully they were smart enough to get their citizenship before Trump came in office. If they didn't, then they're in trouble. Let me see. He didn't think they could put anybody at risk when he was doing this stuff. Like, you could literally put your family members, hopefully they are registered, hopefully they do have paperwork to be here, but you put a lot of people at risk because you don't care. You only care about yourself. What about your wife? You know, when they come there, they're going to maybe come back because they're going to figure out, well, if you're not documented, then she's probably not documented, so now they got to investigate her too. And the kids were born here, so they should good. They should be good. But then they may go through your family members. You know how they work. So why in the world would you risk it, knowing that so many people could be interrupted by doing stuff like that? Why would you risk something like that? Because you don't care. Because you only care about yourself. That's it. So what happens when people get a little YouTube in their head and start doing crazy stuff. Let's see. That's funny. Yeah, 64 cents. That's crazy. 64 cents. What was that for 64 cents? Was it a hamburger? Oh, it was a hamburger for 64 cents. Jeez. You can get a hamburger for 64 cents now, like $4 or $5. What is it about? Oh, the vending machine. It was, well, that's what I was trying to figure out. Who sent this comment back to me talking about, yeah, 64 cents. This is when they first started putting vending machines, when vending machines first came out. A cup of coffee was 64 cents. That's insane. Well, that's inflation for you. Give me, take this right here. Okay. All that information we got on you on my phone, this can be sent to any agency. Anyway, so all we need is an email, because we got a lot of stuff here. We got stuff you're walking out of storage units with copyrighted material, videos of these showing basically the multiple 3D printers, storage units stored with stolen items. Yeah. Customers who sold, you bought products, sold products to. All that. It's documented. So Monday morning, I'm going to compile this, including with that, showing you touching my copyrights, and also, too, a history of basically running counterfeiting rings out of your apartment and selling stolen merchandise. Got you in videos talking about the stolen items. You've got so much stuff on you, Jamie. Oh, so we went to the car show. Isn't that beautiful? Cars are gorgeous, aren't they? Anyway, so yeah, I got a lot of stuff on you, man. So I'm going to make a nice little file today. Yeah, look at his feet. They're so funny looking. Anyway, it's some funny looking feet. Anyway, I'm going to compile all this to one big case that we have here. I'm going to take this down to the police, first of all, because again, my copyright to my material you took without my permission, again. And then with the counterfeiting and all that, we'll be putting all our information in there. I need for everybody to know who I am and where this came from. From there, I will be contacting Homeland Security, Immigration, and I'll be following another report for counterfeiting, copyright infringements, you name it, it'll be in there. And I'm going to actually file the report and call someone and talk to someone directly about your problem and what you've been doing. And then I'm going to make an appointment to reach out to the FBI so I can sit down there and drop off this folder also to them also. Now, once all that's completed, then I'll be going to the courts and I'll be filing a lawsuit for you touching my copyrights over here, and also 2 criminal charges, which are already filed already, but we'll make that note in there that we did file with these branches. So when I go to court, I can show Immigration, I can show Homeland Security, I can show FBI that we did reach out to, and I can also show Allentown Police Department. So you're done. That's it. And I'm going to go in and make sure that I bring a copy of my medical report, which basically states I got to talk to, I think it's the DA from the courts. I have to contact them and show them in the courts themselves why in my wrist my doctor was vouch on it, no problem whatsoever. So that way we can get you here. Because once I get you here, I can have you arrested. So Fernando, as I said before, everything catches up to you in life. That's how it works. That's how it works. Now, once you're here, gentlemen, your names are in those documents. Your names will also be in those documents when I file, because you guys all know each other. You all started this whole harassment, cybercrime ring. At the end of the day, you got Crowcast and all that stuff. So all that to be including with Mr. Whatchamacallum's letters. That's another separate case we're going to be bringing up, showing that you guys are all connected together. So then now we can get warrants to have you guys arrested. It's called conspiracy charges. Jeez, my goodness. And of course, it's going to be followed by with lawsuits, of course. So, Fernando, I want you to understand how this works. Sit back. I wouldn't say relax, but sit back. This is a process. But I guarantee you, you will be here in Pennsylvania. I definitely guarantee you that. That cube, yeah, that's something you shouldn't have did. And on top of that, it's fairly new you put up there. So, again, can't touch my copyrights. That's my material. And that's what you call when you have, what do you call the... that match that starts the internal flame that never goes out, man. You messed up big time. And you started a 3D printing company on top of that, on ripping people. Oh, wow. Unbelievable. Let me see what we have here. Stuff we don't need anymore. I would have to say you are not the sharpest tack in the box. I can clearly state that. Now, Jamie will get up in the morning and say something like, oh, he's starting the day off this way. No, actually, I'm starting the day off actually going to see a warehouse. I got 3 warehouses I have to look at today. I have a forklift I have to look at. I got to go contact my buddy because he's certified to drive a forklift, so he has to go with me so I can see if this forklift is working correctly, because I need him to test drive it because I don't drive a forklift whatsoever. I have some video demonstrations I'm going to be doing for the other sites. I got another website I'm actually working on right now. And I'm thinking about designing me new business cards, because I do like the ones I have, but I do want a titanium card. That titanium card is sick. I want one. So I have a lot of stuff I'm doing, including testing new technology and building another screen over here for my virtual fish tank that I want to put together. So, no, this is just something that I add a part of my day to take care of. Unlike you to have actually have nothing to do, because it clearly shows you have nothing to do but break the law. You couldn't think of anything else better than to basically go out and basically commit massive trademark, copyright, and patent violation crimes? That's the best you could come up with? And this is what moving on to bigger and better things was for you? Gee whiz Louise. Man, this is moving on to bigger and better things. That's like somebody said at the end of the day, like, hey, look, I'm not scamming people anymore, but now I've moved on to counterfeiting money. Gee whiz Louise. You don't went from a small crime to a very serious crime. You know how big counterfeiting is and for the United States? They don't play around with that. That's a very serious charge, man. If you don't believe me, go talk to an attorney. Anybody go talk to anybody about it. Say, hey, is counterfeiting in the United States considered to be a heavy, yeah, buddy, you might have U.S. Marshals on your property for this one. Gee whiz Louise. Moving on to bigger and better things. And then you're talking about you're a good father? I don't even know how that's even possible. How would you be a good father? This is what you teach your kids at the end of the day. They're American citizens, by the way, because they were born here. Is this what you teach them at the end of the day? Oh, while you're here, try to rip off as many people as you possibly can, and then basically go on YouTube and brag about it and hope you don't. That's what you taught your kids. That's the value you just taught your kids. Not go to school, graduate, get a diploma, go to college, go to trade school, give something back to the community, figure out ways to basically commit crimes to make money. That's what you did, right? Because that's clearly what you did. Hello, my name is Kenneth Bird. My company is IOEG Technology Screens. We have a company under Crystal Edge Technology Screens. The cube you're seeing right here is actually a cube that belongs to my company. It has a copyright sitting on top of it. The fellow who is responsible for taking the cube is a fellow by the name of Jaime Fernando Gonzalez, YouTube channel Crow1176. He had a Facebook page here called Crow's Home Theater for Newbies. The cube you're seeing here is copyrighted material by our company. We've had several problems with the individual taking copyrighted material, including having a process server go to his front door. Also, other things we have found out about Mr. Gonzalez is the fact that he's running a 3D printing counterfeiting ring out of his apartment with other licensed materials, teams, and so forth, and selling them without basically getting permission from the owners. We'll provide all information and anything that's needed for court. All right. Thank you. Jamie, remember that you're in there right now trying to get this to remove. You can't remove it. You can't remove it at all. Can't remove it. It's stuck there. You probably thought when you brought the page down that would go. No, it doesn't work that way. A picture of this. And the one. Crow1176. That's our cube. All right, that's all I need. So when you come to Pennsylvania, you will be locked up. So you know that. All the charges you committed, doxing addresses, terroristic threats, all that is in that file. That's what you're going to be arrested for. And some other stuff too will be added onto there too also. Including this mess that's going to be coming up next. And mind you, these courts are going to have to alert these companies, let them know that there's an individual that was basically selling their merchandise. So you will be reached out. Other attorneys will be popping up that represent these companies that you stole from. You think they're not going to be notified on this mess? Yes, they are going to be notified on this mess. Courts are not going to keep that covered up. They're going to figure out where these companies are at, and they're going to contact them and say, hey, look, you have an individual who's been selling your merchandise without permission. So their lawyers are going to show up too also. So yeah, you got yourself in quite a bit of a pickle. Well, that's basically about it, Fernando. I am done. I have all my information here. I'm going to go take a look at a warehouse that I'm interested in. You didn't build a future for yourself, did you? The whole object of you being a father and coming here at the end of the day to raise a family at the end of the day was to basically build something for your kids to lean back on, something they can have a legacy. And what did you do? You just gave them a mountain of debt. Hopefully, none of this nightmare ends up in their direction. I'm praying that it doesn't. Because if it does, man, you have wrecked your kid's future from the door. Those lawsuits that we issued out by those companies, our company, everybody else is involved in this mess that you cause at the end of the day could easily land on their heads. Hopefully, it doesn't. I'm hoping your son doesn't have the exact same name as you at the end of the day, because if he does, there's going to be a problem with that. You could end up inheriting his debt. He'll have to get an attorney, and it's going to cost him a lot of money to clean that mess up. You have wrecked your kid's future before it even started. It's going to be embarrassing at the end of the day watching law enforcement officers come to that property and handcuff him and take him out the door. Everybody's going to see it. Sorry, landlord's going to be notified. They have to notify him. And now he's going to reach out to me, which he should, and ask me what's going on. And we're going to explain everything to him and what we know about him. Ask him how much you know. He has to know about this. There's no way in the world you don't know that he's undocumented. So that means now he's liable for a lawsuit now. Very serious one. And guess what? Those companies at the end of the day, the ones I mentioned about those lawyers, they're going to sue the daylights out of him. But if they find out that he was in there and he was undocumented, he's committing those crimes, oh, he's liable. He's definitely liable. See, when landlords sit there and say at the end of the day, well, I have no control of my tenants, they do da-da-da-da-da, so forth and so forth and so forth, it depends. If they know the activities going on and they ignore it, they're liable. If they don't know the activities going on, they're not liable, because again, how would they know everybody's activity in the building? That'd be impossible. Like Mr. Williams. Mr. Williams, they knew his activity was going on in the building and did nothing about it, so they're liable for lawsuits. But Jamie, on the other hand, Williams has a lease. Jamie does not have a lease because Jamie doesn't have proper documents. So the landlord can actually get arrested. And they have to figure out that where's he getting money to pay for all this? Where's he getting money to pay for his stuff to begin with? They'll look at the timeline of when he started the 3D printing company. They can tell basically from the timeline of what he was making off his screen paint business, he wasn't making enough money to pay the rent there. So he had to be working somewhere, and they're going to trace that money trail down to the printing business where he was working at. And then now they're going to be in trouble. And you have no idea how bad it's going to be on there. And he could actually lose his business now. Or be arrested. Chances are most likely be arrested. Because you know why? Because you got to report something. So, you caused all that damage. And mind you, your LLC is sitting on top of his apartment. So there's no way he can't deny that you weren't there. Because that's not going to happen. So again, he's done. You caused all that damage. All you had to do was come here, mind your own business, get your citizenship, start a nice little business, and just chill. Everybody else said the same thing. Everybody I talked to and explained your case to them, like, wow, talk about how to mess up your life. That's all you had to do is come down here and just chill. If I'm going to another country, you think I'm going to go around and commit crimes? What the freak? I'm not trying to get myself in. First of all, I don't even know the rules and regulations over there for their justice system. I'm not trying to get in that type of trouble. I'm not even trying to get in any trouble, period. My intention is to go down there and probably benefit. Maybe something cool they may have down there. At the end of the day, I mean, I would love to go to Japan. Japan has fantastic technology. I would love to learn about some of their technology down there. Educational purposes, to learn something. To better my technology or whatever. Learn from other people. But yeah, he didn't do anything like that. He came over here with the intentions just to rip people off. Because you've been doing it for a long time. When you were selling that screen paint, he was going to other people who sold screen paints. And not so people, there were a lot of hobbyists at one point that did have free screen paint mixers. They made their own products and stuff like that. And Jamie went around and friended these people and took their ingredients. That's how we met him. Because we bumped into him. He came into our channel asking us for our ingredients. We said, no, we sell this product. We have a company. Because you know why, Fernando, you came to us, we beat everybody. Everybody knew who we were when it came to gray screen paints. And we beat everybody in gray screen paints. So you went looking for the best products you could find so you could steal the idea and sell it and make your own money off of it. Lazy. Couldn't make your own product, steal from other people. And that's how you bumped into me. Because everybody's asking who had the best gray screen paint, and that would have been me. That's why you came to me. And we told you no. And you got mad about it. Now look at the outcome of it all. My company continues to rise and continues to develop high-end technology, because I'm looking at a futurized technology right here in front of you, and he's going to jail. Not here, someplace far worse. Yeah, messed your life up. And then the other ones involved in that nonsense, they're going to be included because we're bringing your names up in that courtroom on the problems that we have with you and your associations with them. Because every time we bring up one of their names, the first thing they ask is, well, a person doesn't just randomly just jump up and start stalking you. That's true. How did you get to know this guy? Oh, we got to know this fellow by the name of Fernando Gonzalez. His name is Jaime Fernando Gonzalez. He's actually good friends with these particular individuals, which he is. So that means now they got to investigate you on that. Since his case is so big and going to be so high profile because of all the stuff he did, that's going to put you guys right out in the freaking floodlights. Nowhere to hide. It's like watching cockroaches scatter when you turn the kitchen light on. There is no place to hide. The only problem with you at the end of the day, there isn't any dark corners for you to hide into. It's just one big square room. That's it. No place to go. You're just trapped in a corner waiting for someone to come in with some pointy boots and crush you in the corner. That's what's going to happen to you. There's no place to go. Gentlemen, didn't I say at the end of the day? What did I say? I said that 2025 is going to be an absolute nightmare for some people. Didn't I say that already? That right there, that's the biggest mistake you just made. Okay, well, with that being said, enjoy your Saturday, whatever, I don't know how you're going to enjoy it, knowing what's looming over top of your head. It's coming. So, that's what it is. And as for you, Fernando, cube is not yours. You're not supposed to touch it. It's my copyrighted material. And because of that, guess what? We'll see you in court. And you know what that's going to trigger off? A whole lot of chain of events. That's what that's going to trigger off. And I'm going to go take a look at a warehouse. I wouldn't even bother getting an attorney because it's not going to help you. Now, most people get immigration attorneys at the end of the day because, you know, because they got pinched in something. It's a good possibility they can get out of it or something at the end of the day. But the stuff that you did at the end of the day, oh, there's no way in the world you're getting out of this stuff. There's no way. You're way too much stuff on you. Keep in mind, Fernando, you have to understand the scope of this. You counterfeited and sold merchandise from other companies. You do know those companies are going to come for you, right? They're going to bring lawyers down. They're going to come for you. And we have all the evidence showing you actually selling their merchandise without their permission. And these are big-time attorneys, man. Big-time corporations you stole from. You didn't steal from some small business. You stole from major corporations, household names. That's where you stole from. And you sold their stuff without their permission. So they're going to bring down some very heavy-hitter attorneys. Yeah. I'm not the one you should be worried about. That nightmare is one you should be worried about. That's going to be a doozy. The sad part about it is they're going to want their money. And the thing about it is you don't have it. And they may go after your kids. People say it's not possible. I've seen the craziest things happen in the courtroom. You'd be surprised. The law is an interesting thing. It is. They could make them reliable for it. They could easily say that they were in their home, they basically saw everything that was going on, how did they not see it, how come they didn't report it. If they're adults at the end of the day and they did see this going on and didn't report it, they can make them liable for it. So it can go either way. That's the nightmare he calls. You can't get, and he must get mad at me about it. What do you get mad at me, Jamie, for? You want to say that I wrecked your entire family. You got thrown in jail. You're going to definitely never see your wife ever again. That's not, you're never going to see her ever again. That's definitely going to happen. All that happened because it's my fault, as you're saying. It's my fault at the end of the day that I didn't let you go in and rip off my copyrighted material, lie about my company, make false statements, threaten my family, even threaten my cat. That's my fault at the end of the day, right? It's my fault that you went in and you got caught ripping off companies and stealing from them. That's my fault too. It's my fault because you went in and doxed people's addresses and put other people at danger. That's my fault too also, right? No, Jamie, that's your fault. That's all your fault. You had an option to come here and do it right and you chose not to. So that cube right there, that's your nightmare right there. And it's interesting, like I said, how the Lord works everything out. Because when you downed your page, that page didn't go. It stayed right there. And it didn't really dawn on me when I was looking at it, because I was so busy looking at the other mess he had on that site, that when I looked up this morning, when I came in and I saw the cube, I was like, ah, snap. You guy took my cube. Yeah, you took my cube and used it. That material, that cube right there is a 2D artwork. Look it up on the copyright, on the Crystal Age Technology screens, and the registration of my copyrights. It says 2D artwork. That's 2D artwork to the cube. I had explained what that was when I did the documents. So you stole my copyrighted material and got a nerve to get on camera and say racism because you think you're being pointed out because you're Mexican. That's why you're getting deported. That's what you're making it about. And you clearly got a crime right there you're committing right there, touching my copyrighted material. So let's put it this way. Either some people feel that African Americans shouldn't have a right to be able to make claim on other people touching their stuff, we shouldn't own anything, or the fact that you basically are 100% in on basically people ripping off American companies. Which one is it? Because some of you supported this nonsense. Keep in mind, people, what you have to understand at the end of the day is that it's not Mr. Bird you're going to have to worry about. You got a bigger problem than that. Because if you supported that nonsense, you supported the devil's act at the end of the day. That means you already started the entire process of Satan's hunting you. You started. You opened the door for it. The minute you engage in anything like that, you already opened the door for Satan to go, huh, I got a candidate. And he doesn't let go once he sets in. You get all sorts of problems going to be coming your way. You need God to get you to that situation. So, you know, there's no way out of this. You think you're worried about me at the end of the day? I'm not your biggest problem at the end of the day. I keep telling y'all that. You trolls on YouTube think that me coming after you, I'm not your biggest problem. You got a bigger problem than that. You got a way bigger problem than that. You got Satan tracking you. This is a guy who's trying to kill you. Well, demon, you can't call him a guy. He's not human. I can tell you that much. You got an actual demon tracking you, figuring out ways to murder you every single day. That's what you invited in. Yeah, I'm not the one you have to worry about. I'm not the last call. That's going to be the last call. You die off this earth. Say, God, your time is today. Say today may be your last day. How are you going to be leaving this world? That's what you're going to have to worry about. That is your biggest problem right now. For these guys, courts, lawsuits, that's not their biggest problem. The biggest problem is they die on this earth and they have not repented or picked up that cross and carried it. Guess where they're going? A far more worse place. At least on this planet, at the end of the day, there's a timeline. You can only spend time in jail for so long. You can only be this or that. Everything has a timeline. And the next world, there is no timeline. It's eternal. Forever. That's a lot on your head, isn't it? Committing crimes, following Satan, worrying about what time the Lord's going to call you back. Because again, you're not meant to be here forever. You're going to die sooner or later. And if you're ready or not. Have you embedded too much time into Satan's act at the end of the day? You're trying to keep you occupied, because that's his job. Keep you occupied. Keep you doing dumb stuff all day long. Keep you occupied, because he knows you are not going to be here forever. He has immortality. For right now, he has immortality. That's why he's been here forever. He can't die until his time comes. But you guys, at the end of the day, don't have immortality, and you do die. So he's just going to keep you occupied with the most dumbest stuff he could possibly think of, and you guys are going to follow along with it, and sooner or later, your time may come to there tomorrow, and you got to be called back. And how's that going to work out for you? The lawsuit's not your problem right now. Going to jail is not your problem right now. The problem is worrying about that next life. That's what your problem's going to be. You know, one of my biggest fears when I was in the lockup system was the fact that God coming back before I get baptized. I wanted to get baptized before I got, when I got saved in prison. I wanted to be official. Now I have accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior when I was in lockup. I was reading the Bible. I was basically trying to walk the straight and narrow path while I was there. but I wanted to be baptized because my sins were still connected to me. And I thought, man, it'd be scary if God came back and I never got a chance to get baptized. I'm still in this lockup unit. They don't do baptisms in the place I was at. Some places do. They can give you baptism, but they couldn't give me baptism in there. So I had to wait till I got out. And I made a promise to God that the first Sunday I got up, I got baptized. And I kept my promise. First Sunday I got out, I got baptized. My sins were clean. Do you have any idea how much of a relief that was to know that all those sins, all that destruction and mayhem I caused when I was young was washed away and was no more? Do you have any idea the relief that felt at the end of the day? The peace of mind that came over me at the end of the day? Now imagine dying in this world and you've never been baptized and you never picked up that cross. That's a scary thought. And again, like I said, you're not promised to be on this earth forever. You don't have to be 50 years old. You don't have to be 6 years old to leave this planet. There are all types of ages that leave the planet. The problem is everybody thinks that you have tomorrow. You don't have tomorrow. You don't have it. You really don't have it. The only way you have tomorrow is that you wake up the next day. That's when you have tomorrow. But then you still don't have that day. Because even in that day, you could die. There are people right now that have woke up for the next day, but did not come home. Died in car accidents and shootings and all wrong place. You hear about the news all the time. Sad to be, but wrong place, wrong time. It happens. People die on this earth every single day. People are born, people die. It's a changing system. And your number one day may come up. Are you ready for that? The only thing about it is you just don't know when. It'd be interesting if we had like a little counter over top our head showing how many days we have left on the earth. Some people have 5, some people have 6, some people have 10, some people have 0. Can you imagine that? How much different you would actually treat your life if you found out that you had a timeline. When you're born, how much time you want to be here? Some will be here to their 40, 30. Some may not even make it at all. But you don't have that option, do you? So you don't know when. It's a big old question mark up there. I feel sorry for some of these stars. These people get up in the morning and they go out on vacation and they die. It happens all the time. Just never know when your time is going to be. So you guys need to get your act together. Because again, you could be here today, you could be gone tomorrow. You might not be here at all. And you guys are walking around serving the devil. Now, for people to sit there and say, well, how do I serve the devil? I stop the devil. If a person wants to come in and try to ridicule my company, I can go the same way they did to me. I can do the exact same thing. The exact same thing. I can go make memes. I can go stalk people's addresses and all that stuff. I can go send out terroristic threats and blah, 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 blah. I don't do any of that stuff whatsoever. Well, I have a company to run it in the day. I don't do none of that stuff. What I do is I take the dumb stuff that you guys do and I use it against you in court. That's what I do. I don't have to make anything up. Just like this right here. I literally don't have to make this up. I don't have to do any of that stuff at all, period. I don't touch people's copyrights and stuff because I sue people for touching copyrights. So why the freak would I want to touch somebody else's copyrights when I sue people for touching copyrights? That'd be just downright stupid. I love the screen so much. I got all the evidence I need from this page. I'm done. That's why I don't follow y'all shenanigans. I sue people and send people to jail for your shenanigans. All I do is just gather up all the dumb stuff you do, and I challenge you in court on it. That's it. That's all I gotta do. I don't give you anything. Show me anything against me in court. Any one of you. You don't have anything. I don't do dumb stuff like that. I don't dox addresses and none of that stuff. And for Fernando sitting there, so you dox. Again, common sense, man. You doxed your own address, made an LLC and made it public domain. So now everyone on the face of the planet knows where you lay your head at. So yeah, no. My sister was laughing about that. Like he's supposed to be, why would he do that? That's the dumbest thing you would do at the end of the day. You know you're not documented, but yet you put a huge red arrow right over top of your house or your apartment showing exactly where you're at. And if you look at the process server in the document where we posted to his door, what does it say? Apartment E. What does it say on his on his LLC for his business, apartment E. So you can't get mad at anybody and says, hey, you doxed my address. Yeah, it's your company's address. That's what it is. No one docks your address. You dox your own address. That's the same guy who got there and got mad at us because we found somebody doxed his address on Facebook. Somebody, customer he ripped off. Put his information up there. And I guess they had moved because their information wasn't there. I guess why would you put your own information, put somebody else's information up there? He must have moved. So he doxed his address because he was mad at Jamie because I guess he probably ripped him off on some paint. But anyway, we saw it and we said, well, this can't be his address. And we thought his address was 317 Kern Street. I think it's Kern Street. Yeah, because that's the address the lawyer we sent to. But that was his real address right there. And he went into this whole rant on his channel about how we doxed his address and and how he's taking us to court and how he's suing us. But you can't sue me. Sue the person who actually put it up there. I just found and said, hey, could this be? And you actually told us that it was because you went to this huge rant over it. You already let me know that is your address. And after going through all that nonsense and screaming and crying on camera, as you usually do, you went and made an LLC and made your address public domain, so now it's everywhere. But yet you're suing us over claiming we doxed your address. How does that work? Same thing with the Cinemax mix. We had a customer send it over to us because he didn't like the fact that when we ordered this product from Fernando, oh, I forgot, you got post office part charges coming your way. That he went in and basically sent us black paint instead. So a customer gave us that paint. Here he comes on channel, crying and whining at the end of the day. Oh, that's not my product. Oh, he made the labels. He did this, he did that. My stuff would never match Network Grade 773. This video's went missing, by the way. My stuff would never match, blah, 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 blah. He's a liar, blah, 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 blah. My stuff would never match, never match. Did you say that, right? What did I do? I wanted to demonstrate. What did I do? I wanted to demonstrate Network Grade 773. I put it against your product. It matched. It matched your Metallica and it matched the personal mix. Funny thing about it is you missed the Metallica and personal. You didn't do those demonstrations. You just did the other one. What happened to the rest of those demonstrations? Never did those, did you? Oh, of course you did. You knew they were going to match. But anyway, after all that, after on camera, we said it would match. He's just ranting and ranting. We're liars. So what happened? He went on camera. He did the demonstration himself. That's what we're posting to the site before he pulled this channel. What happened? You got on there, you showed a receipt, you showed the container, you painted it down, and it matched. And it had a nerve to come back in and lie to people and say it has a yellowish tone. You know how dumb that sounds today? That means that anybody else, if you're saying it has a yellowish tone, is literally going to have the same paint, it's going to buy the same thing we bought and see if they see the yellowish tone. No one saw it. That was him lying on camera. What do you think? People are stupid? I swear, for the people who follow him, he literally thinks you're idiots. He thinks you guys are stupid. Because who else in their right mind would sit there and think that no one's going to test this? At the end of the day, they're going to take my word and my word only. So if I say it has a yellowish tone, none of you are going to be smart enough to go out and get the same paint that I have and see if this yellowish tone just exists. That's how he thinks of you guys at the end of the day. Gee whiz Louise. And you guys coming and supporting that nonsense, that's why we nickname you Sheep. That's how you get the nickname Sheep. Because you'll follow him no matter what. And no matter how bad he abuses you guys, you'll follow him. Because you're sheep. But anyway, yeah, that nonsense that went on right there. And then people were going in. There were people going in and doing the test themselves. And this stuff was matching. They were complaining to him. And then he finally did the demonstration. And what happened? It matched. Even bigger issue was the fact that that P2 projector with the 2:1 contrast didn't even read a contrast level on that screen. When the LG logo popped up, didn't pick up. So that means that 2:1 is doing jack on that screen paint. And then half the images were washed out. They were faded and distorted. That means the 1.7 billion colors that machine possesses, none of that worked on that gray paint. Okie dokie. What was the other demonstration? Oh, we said it was ambient rejection? But it's not ambient rejection. No, which one is it? We sat there and posted that in the video. My Frankenstein mix. Oh, yeah, Universal Studios are going to like that one. My Frankenstein mix is ambient light rejection. But yet we get a container saying it's not ambient light rejection. So which one is it? Is it or is it not ambient light rejection? What color is this stuff? At one point, it was light gray. We get it as dark gray. So how is the dark gray not ambient light rejection, but the light gray is ambient light rejection? Anyone else figure that one out? Oh my goodness, the part didn't doubt. I was like, gee whiz Louise. That says a lot about the fan base he has at the end of the day. You guys don't know jack of a home theater. It's a shame that you just don't. How would you think? It's like saying a Dark Star 9 with a 0.9 gain. It's not ambient light rejection, but it's $3,000. It's $3,000. But the Cinema Gray, which is $800, is ambient light rejection. How the freak does that even work? So he charged more money for the Frankenstein when it was darker, and less for it when it was basically, no, he charged less for it when it was dark, no, more when it was darker. Sorry, less when it was darker and more when it was lighter. So when it was lighter, it was around roughly about $75, $85. That's what we paid for it. We bought this stuff 4 times from him. And the darker version was cheaper. That doesn't make any sense. It's backwards. Yet you guys bought into that. So, excuse me, if it offends you in any way whatsoever, if people think that people from his fan base aren't all that intelligent, it's because it's the person you purchase from. If you buy from an idiot, you become the idiot. You know how that one works, right? That's what you did. Now, for those of you who don't know, first time buying screen paint's not your fault. You're called victim at the end of the day. But those people who supported that nonsense and stood behind it, you guys are the idiots. You're the idiots of screen paints. You are. You're the jester. Not 2 types of jesters, mind. I have to educate them on this. There's 2 types of jesters. There was one that's actually in the King's Quarter. That was the one that wasn't wearing the whole bells and dancing around like a complete idiot. There's 2 types of jesters. One was actually almost close to a nobleman. A scholar, a gentleman. That's what he was. And there was the other one that was the town idiot. There was the one running around with bells and stuff, and yeah, they were pelting fruit. That's the one you guys become. Because, again, you bought a screen paint that wasn't even tested. Like, this guy literally just put black and white paint together, stuck it on a high-end projector, put it in a dark environment. He bought it. Now, we dub customers, which means we dubbed his customers. Which means that we can show your videos anytime we want to, showing that you guys are simply telling, oh, it's a fantastic, amazing screen paint, it was great, and right next to the video, it shows him making black and white paint and selling it to you. Some of you pulled your videos down because you're embarrassed. Now, if any one of you at the end of the day felt that you would have videos out to me, because I'm the one coming after your product, saying the product doesn't work. So if he's not going to do it, you would come after me. No one's done anything. Like the Network Grade 773, Sherwin-Williams, the Micro Blend, Slip Silver, Apple Barrel, the stuff that we mentioned. No one has shot any video showing there was a massive difference. Not one person. I mean, I feel if someone feels that strongly about him at the end of the day in the fan base, someone would have backed that up, right? Like even the guy who did the what do you call it, the review, and he did it on a gunmetal or gunmetal pump. He still kicked your butt. So your stuff was even ambient light rejection. So that means that you don't know anything about ambient light rejection or dark technology. Gee, listen. Now, the only thing I didn't like about that video is next time he does a demonstration like that, do not stick me against junk. Because that's all junk at the end of the day. These are people we got to take to court and sue for scamming. Don't stick me against that mess. Put me against high-end screens next time. I would appreciate that. Black Diamond, DNP Supernova, all the big companies, put us against them. That's what I like at the end of the day. Put us in well-lit environments, no 4K, no high-end projectors. Keep it low. I like bare minimum. Like our screens to be able to work for what we do. When I have time, I'm going to send them out. We have a chance to talk to them. I have to have a lawyer involved with this one. The lawyer does have to speak with them. But anyway, we'll send them down a sample of, when we get done, that invisible technology. So you can take it outside and play around with it. We might send a sample out that to all the people who do, certain people who do screen demonstrations on their channel. Why? To show you what real technology looks like. That's why. And I want you to go out and take all the certified screens you have, and I want to put it against that screen. Because I want you to show on your channel who is more superior. We got plans for that technology. I got plans to send that technology out to a lot of people. And those big companies at the end of the day will get their own sample too at the end of the day too, also too, showing them why our technology is more superior. Okay, like my master plan. We can do that. We have that technology. We can go outside. We're going to be dubbed as the first daytime projection screen. Hoo-ah. Hoo-ah. Now see, gentlemen, that's what I'm doing. I'm building legacies. You are building prison bricks. That's what you're doing. All right, with that being said, I wasted enough time here on this. Fernando, all new charges coming up for Monday. 3 agencies I need to contact. Allentown Police Department, of course, about this. FBI, because it is federal, because it is my government copyrights that you did touch at the end of the day. And also to immigration and law enforcement, as in our Homeland Security, we're going to call them. You have to reach out to them because you are running a counterfeiting ring and you've been using other people's other people's copyrighted material without permission. I find it so interesting that the cue that you used to advertise your illegal operation of counterfeiting companies' merchandise and selling it is actually a copyrighted material itself. You know how backwards that is? At the end of the day, how crazy that is? Boy, that is going to be an interesting one. I can't wait to talk to the detectives units on this one. All right, well, that's basically about it. Fernando, as I said before, the minute you step foot down here in Pennsylvania, I'm going to have you arrested. You're going to face every charge, hopefully. Depends on who gets you first, gets you first. If we get him down, that's why I started hoping he's an American citizen. If he was down, we could get him for every single charge. He's well over 100 years, easy. We get him for every single charge, and you got my family following charges against him on top of that. But now he's got even bigger problems. You got my family following charges, we're following charges, and every single one of those companies that he basically made money off of are going to have an attorney at his back door to sue him. And they're going to throw charges. They're going to go to jail for it. What's going to happen is, chances are, ICE is going to get involved in this. Because they're going to have to. He doesn't have any documents. He can't be out here for any charge. They're going to take him. And judging by the amount of damage he did to himself, they're going to send him to a real bad place. And over there is where he disappears. Because over here, they got a number. You know, all prisoners got that number. Number on your back, that's your identification number right there. That tells who you are, what you're in there for, how much time you got. That's your identification number. It's on your file. It's on your packet in there. And there, I don't think they have identification numbers. Hopefully they do, but that's how you track someone. Chances are, once he go over there, he's going to disappear. That's a scary thought, man. That's a scary thought, knowing that you're someplace and no one knows that you're there. That's a very scary thought. That's a very scary thought. But anyway, like I said, he brought it on himself. And like I said, you can lash out, Fernando. What are you lashing out about? What are you going to be on your channel screaming and carrying about today? Is that your copyrighted material? It's not yours, it's mine. So what are you lashing out about? Can you go to jail for touching that? Yes, you can. What are you lashing out about? Did you take people's trademark and copyright and patent material and sell it for your own private use? Yes, you did. All right, then what are you crying about? Did you rip your customers off your paint? Did you sell them a good product? You ripped them all off, right? You robbed them, stole from them. Am I lying about that? Then what are you getting mad about? You got mad and upset and you removed your entire Facebook page because everything we posted on it was true. That's you in the video, right? That's you matching the house paint, right? You're going to tell me you sit there, we all watched the video, that you didn't match that paint. You have lost your mind at the end of the day. You're going to make anyone believe that's two different paints at the end of the day. They matched at the end of the day. Matched to a point that I wouldn't even pay $90. Could have been $60. I wouldn't even give you $10 for that stuff. If I can go slide it off the shelf for a gallon, I'm going to give you a quart for something I can slide off for a gallon? No. It's caught it with you. That's what it has. So everything we posted on there, like I said, if you feel in any way that I basically, and I know you're in the room, how you doing? Good morning. But if you feel in any way that that everything I said was a lie, get a lawyer. Get a lawyer, 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 get a lawyer. Matter of fact, I order you and dare you to get an attorney to sue me or lock me up. Go ahead. Explain to them everything that we just posted to that site. The reason why you got rid of the site, because you know that's criminal evidence against you, and you know you try to hide it. That's why you got rid of the site. But the funny thing about it is, everything left off the site except for the cube. See right there, told you it's not available? We already got it. I documented it on my phone. Told you. He removed the entire site now. It's gone. Sorry, this content isn't available now. And that's removal of the whole site. He got rid of it. Because when we get the other icon that pops up, that means the site basically is hidden. He hid the site, like basically took it offline. That means he deleted the entire site. Guilty, I told you people, guilty. Jaime is nothing more than a professional liar, professional scam artist, professional thief at the end of the day. And what Jaime did was basically stole from other people who made screen paint products, because there would have been more of them. Stole from screen paint products and used their products to benefit himself. That's why we got a video of him making the product for free, because he made statements to these people at the end of the day, nothing but a liar, and said, hey, I'm just trying to do something for the community on giving them free paints. And tried to attack people that were selling their products and said it was wrong for you to sell. What I do with my product is my business at the end of the day. It has nothing to do with you. So we're supposed to be scammers because we sell our product and he's giving it away for free. That's because you wanted my product and you couldn't get it. And then you turned around and sold the very products that you said that you were doing it for free. You stabbed those people in the back. Now, those people were hobbyists at the end of the day. They really didn't take it seriously, and they just left it alone, just whatever, and went about their business. And he stole their work. So that paint you guys have at the end of the day, you claim it, it's not his. It belonged to other people, like Sonic Chill. It belonged to a lot of other people. Those paints belong to that he stole from those individuals. You have stolen products. That's what you have. And then you came against my company trying to do damage to me. How well did that work out for you? So then you turn around and you scammed your customers off free paints. That's what you did, and sold them to make money. Is there proof of you doing that? What is the Metallica Mix 2.0? It's a free paint. That's what was in the video demonstration of what he was making. What did he try to sell on his eBay listing? What did he try to sell on his website? The same thing, Metallica 2.0, same paint. That shows that you get things for free, you try to charge money, and you steal from people. On all they get, it's nothing different. Now, if that paint was different from what you were giving away for free, that's a different story, but it's the same thing. You're a professional scam artist. That's what you do. Whereas in the dark comes out in the light, Fernando. As you sat there and you said that you're an innocent person, poor me, I'm being attacked because I'm Mexican and it's racist because he's attacking me. I would never steal from people. You turn around and you run a 3D printing business right after making those statements out of your apartment. Not only did you run a business that's against the law because you stole from companies, but you operated without a license. You operated without code enforcement. Your apartment is not zoned for that type of business. Why? Because the very machines you operate in that environment didn't have special shields on them. Didn't have an exhaust system on it, which means a poison that came out of that machine and saturated your apartment. There is a good high chance, Fernando, and I've talked to lung doctors on this, that you have poisoned yourself. You poisoned your wife, you poisoned your kids, God forbid, I hope they weren't in there. You definitely poisoned your pets, and your apartment is saturated with those little particles of poison all in that environment. Worse upon worse, some of that stuff could transfer over to apartments next door where they have kids over there. They may also be sick also. The machinery, I looked it up, that you were running, you don't have the outlets to run that type of machinery. You could have easily had an overload. You could have caused a fire. A fire with the stuff you have in your apartment with all those aerosol cans could have been catastrophic. You could have blown up half that building easily. That's why you have to have zoning. This is why you have to have a license. Because when you get a license, there's 3 people you have to go through. Maybe different in California, maybe it's 3. You have to go through zoning to get the license. You have to go through City Hall to get the license. And you have to go through sanitation. Sanitation has to know what you are throwing out. If you have a chemical company, what type of chemicals? What are the safety material data sheets for these chemicals? What kind of dumpsters would you need to be able to throw away this trash at the end of the day? You can't be throwing that trash away in regular trash. You could run the risk of hurting somebody who's coming to pick it up or somebody walking by it. A smell or chemical can come off and kill somebody. You have to have a special dumpster for that stuff. You have to understand, when you take all those different chemicals and you throw them into a container, heat hits those containers. They're metal containers, which means they can heat up. You can have all kinds of trigger chemical effects that could go off in there. Like the equivalence of mixing, don't do this, ammonia and bleach together. You know what that calls it? There's a mustard bomb. That's what they call them. It's a chemical that gives off. So or mustard gas, you could basically hurt someone. Did you think about that? What did you do with some of the chemicals? Did you dump them down the sink? Did you dump them down the toilet? Now you do that, now you're destroying the ecosystem. By judging by a person like you who doesn't care about his own family, I pretty much would bet that you pretty much probably dumped some of those chemicals down that sink. And you know what they're going to do, Jamie? They're going to run a test through those pipes to figure out if any of that chemicals went through those pipes. Doesn't make a difference how much water you flush down there. It won't change the fact that they'll be able to pick it up. They can trace where those pipes go to, and they can figure out exactly if you dumped any of those chemicals down there. Where are you disposing all this waste? Judging by the Jason mass, 1,000 of these things you printed up, that's a lot of chemicals pushing to that apartment and what you breathed in. Those Jason mass, what did you do with the containers and the waste that was in those boxes? What did you do? I know you throw it in regular trash, but you probably did. This is the reason why we have zoning. This is what zoning is for. That people don't operate businesses that could harm other people. And that's what you did. So all this is going to come out in court. That one incident that we have now documented, all that's going to bring all that to light. It's like having a barn full of dry hay. Really, really dry hay. It takes one little match, one spark to take it all down. And that cube, that's your spark. That's your match. That's all we needed. Think about that, man. You built a 3D printing business. You bragged about making thousands of dollars off other people's merchandise. Every time I mention to anyone about how you ripped off Stan Lee, it doesn't make a difference who it is. It makes people, everybody's Spider-Man. Everybody knows Spider-Man. It's disrespect. This shows that you have no respect for anybody's product whatsoever. That's what it shows. Stan Lee's a perfect example. That you have no respect for anybody. And you're willing to sell anyone's stuff anywhere. Heck, I wouldn't be surprised you would be willing to sell your own soul for money. You're that type of person. And this is what you people at the end of the day trusted with your credit card information. Oh, don't forget about that. Your addresses that sit in that PayPal account right now. Which he has access to. Yes, your identity can be stolen through an address. Unless you move, and then that's a problem for somebody else, which is jacked up. But that's what you get at the end of the day. We told you, we warned you about this guy years ago that he was a very serious high risk. And you guys thought at the end of the day that we did this because of jealousy. Interesting. I'm the one sitting there with future technology to be jealousy. Okay. Anyway, good luck with all that, because that's your personal nightmare. We got nothing to do with that. I don't even know how you would go about that one, to tell you the truth, honestly. Well, I guess you're stuck. Do you know, the crazy thing about it is the fact that even if he is in somewhere like another maximum prison, if he gets access to the internet, he has access, he has a password. He knows the password to his account. And if he gives out that information, that means someone else is going to have access to your information. What do you think about that stuff at the end of the day? Yeah. You see the criminal activity this guy has on him? So he knows his password. And all he needs is to access that account is the password. So if he needs to make a deal or make some money, I'm just saying, speculating, but I'm just saying, people do trade anything for anything just to have a little bit of comfort at home. Your identifications in those addresses. So if you decide to give up some information on a password to a PayPal account that has access to hundreds and hundreds of addresses, there you go. You don't want other people knowing where you live at, don't you? You don't want people that are extremely dangerous knowing where you live at. But the problem you have now is that the person that you trust at the end of the day, that you call, you know what I mean, a person you can trust, who rips you off on so many levels, it's not even funny, has access to a PayPal account. And to get a PayPal account shut down is hard to do. Let me tell you, it's very hard to do. You have to get a petition going. You have to have hundreds of thousands of people to petition to get this thing taken down. Because they'll look at you as trolls. That's what you'll see you as. So, it's not going to work. And by then, the damage will be done. Well, people, we warned you. You know, for those of you that are victims at the end of the day, I would suggest you go contact PayPal and file, see what you could do about getting the account. I don't even know how you would go about that. I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you. What are you going to do? Go to the blacklist and take our information for the day? I mean, we told you at the end of the day we'll do this, but, you know, you didn't listen at the end of the day. Jeez, please, man, unbelievable. This is the reason why testing, all that stuff, got to make sure companies are legit. You do this when you buy a car, don't you? You do this when you buy a house. You go out and you make sure that the realtor is real, because you don't want to hand over your money and find that the realtor is fake and he's not real, and you just coughed up 50, 180,000, 100,000, whatever. It happens to people all the time. They don't check the realtor. They just believe the person. And they hand over all their life savings and it's gone. Bad investments. How many people get caught up in bad stocks, Bitcoins, all that stuff, all those different scams. When Bitcoins came out, they weren't scams at first, but then they became major, massive scams. It's hard to even find a good Bitcoin. I forgot the name of it, what they call them. Anyway, purchase Bitcoin. But you got to be careful about that. You got to do that research. You can't be just throwing money out at people at the end of the day. You don't even know what's connected to some of this crazy stuff. This is why we can sit there and say, no one else can say this, hey, if you are uncomfortable, blah, 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 you take us to court. We can back our product at 100%. For me, courtroom is fun. You know why it's fun for me to be in a courtroom? Number one, I can back my stuff up. Number two, I get publicity when I go in those places. I get to show off the technology in front of a bunch of people who've never seen this stuff before. That's advertising for my business at the end of the day. On top of that, this may land me, if I know the right people in there, this may land me a government contract. So I have a ball in there, because again, we can back our stuff up. So we beg you to take us to court. You see them begging you to take us to court? Oh, take them to court, then my stuff reads a 100% contrast level. They're not going to beg you on that, because they know they'll lose that in a minute. But we begged you guys to do it. Come on, do it. Take the court. Let's get this done. But y'all don't do it. Y'all don't entertain me on this. Really? Seriously? Well, you don't entertain me on this? And now one of y'all want to step to take me to court. See, that's what I mean at the end of the day. We can back our stuff up. You get crushed in that courtroom. You know it. You know that deep down inside. You can talk all the trash you want. It doesn't make a difference. If I tell you let's go to court, you don't want to talk anymore. You know we can back our stuff. So that's why people buy from us at the end of the day. That's why people do business within the day, because we crush other companies. We can back our stuff at 100%. We challenge business. I'm the only company that got a track record of people giving me back money because they're afraid of my technology. We literally had people pull entire states because they're afraid to come near us. Literally, Rogers did that, who talked all the trash about the Series C. You do know that Series C black paint, he got so scared, he moved, 13.8 million people out of the state of Pennsylvania, and including 9 more other states, because he's afraid of our products. He returned $700 worth of orders, including one was a $20 sample. You got to pay money back to PayPal on that. Gee, our track record is insane. You got the other one to get back $1,900. I got receipts of him crying on every freaking receipt, including the email itself, telling us to buy what we wanted. Hey, when you write that check, I definitely cashed it for you 8 ways from Sunday. You can't say I didn't. We got a track record of doing this stuff. We're the only company that has batch number verifications. No one else has it at the end of the day. We've challenged every company you could possibly think of. Black Diamond, Screen Innovations, you name them. We've been there, we've done it already. I got technology that reads outside. I can go outside 12 o'clock in the afternoon and watch freaking Tron. You got more people sitting in the dark right now, they can't even open up a freaking window, let alone turn on a light without the screen disappearing on them. And then we got future technology already edged in for 26, 27, and 28, which we haven't even mentioned yet. We're already designing it. You're light years away from our technology and what we do. We got companies already interested in our tech already. So yeah, with that being said, yeah, we can back ourselves. And any one of these guys at the end of the day say, hey, take me to court. Oh, please make that statement, because I will take you to court in a hot second. I will. No joke about it. I'll have the process served at your front door. No problem whatsoever. So go ahead and make a statement. I wish you would. I'll destroy you in a courtroom. See, that's what I mean. That's what my investors love. They love that. At the end of the day, that we could do that. But this guy would never make that statement. He can't even he can't even go on a YouTube live stream and do a demonstration against black and white paint. Why? We got the box and then the desk. He literally sent it back to us. Everybody got the tracking numbers. Everybody watched it happen. So he can't even back his own stuff up. And you guys gave him your address? Are you crazy? And then find out now he's undocumented? And he has your information? You're screwed. Yeah, good luck on that one. The attorney fees that you're going to have to pay to clean this mess up are going to cost you way more than what that paint cost you. You're going to have to hire an attorney to get that done, to get that page, his channel, whatever you go. PayPal, you got to hire an attorney to fix that mess, to get rid of that. That's going to cost you money. That's going to cost you way more money than what it cost you for that paint. But if you don't, you run the risk that he blurts out or gives up that information to that password, someone now will have access to the account and can change the password. And who knows what they'll do with the addresses. This is why you gotta be careful who you do business with. This is why. Try to explain to you people, be careful who you do business with. And the person, at the end of the day, that you guys ridiculed and came after was the one telling you the entire time that these guys were demons. But you attacked us at the end of the day. Now, do we care? Nah. We got options at the end of the day. In technology we engineer, we have many options. We can just cut loose the entire customer base and just deal with companies only. We'll still make money. It doesn't make a difference. No matter what we choose to do, we're blessed to make that money. We can opt you out completely. We don't need to do business with you. We don't need your money. We can go to companies and get that money. Companies will pay for that technology. To advertise through windows and their office buildings to be able to use our black technology to read and fully. Oh, they'll definitely pay for that, but no problem. How much money I got paid to push a 150-inch window, screen to a window? I paid a lot of money for that. I even had a company come and give me $20,000. $20,000. See if I can look it up and find that account. 20 grand. To develop a visible technology that they use for holograms, and they use the whole Michael Jackson, when they bring him down, he does a little dance and everything. Yeah, we got paid 20 grand for that. It wasn't a lot of work either, because we've done it already. We've sold them the rights to that particular technology. That's why when we engineer our stuff, everything has different identifications, and they're not all the same. That's why none of our stuff matches. But anyway, yeah, we deal with companies. We just make that money easy. Companies is easier either way. You know why? There's no confusion. They know what they want. They come in and see it, or they bring a representative down. He sees what he likes. They contact them, say, yeah, it's legit, Some people don't even come down. They just buy right from there because of our credibility. And right from there, boom, you make that money. But I'd rather see the customers have it because, again, I want the customers to have a more advanced screen. I want the customers to be able to have future technology. Unlike these guys who ripped you off and gave you nothing. We want a customer to be to come in one day. Customer will be to walk into their home and they'll be to see their watch a movie outside, 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Can you imagine that? Screening your driveway, screening your garage, open up a door. You can walk into your living room, have all your lights on, big bay window, and you can watch a movie. Go outside on your deck and watch a movie from there. That's the way it's supposed to be. And that's what we're pushing for with this technology. Replace your monitors. You don't need them anymore. You have invisible technology now. For companies, they can advertise whatever they want through glass. Inside, we have these cube systems that are coming in. You can drop your items into, and it'll bring this virtual world around your products to bring it to life. That's what we're building. In an office, boring desk, you turn your entire desk into a projection screen. That's why we're working with interactive technology and AI technology to allow you to be able to bring your desk to life. Anything we want. Sky's the limit for our technology. You get companies that would love to have a 200-inch fish tank in there, but a 200-inch fish tank is very expensive, number one. It requires a ton of maintenance. At the end of the day, we can design a tank that we can put in there that looks so realistic, they wouldn't be able to tell the fake from the real. And then on top of that, you can put anything in there you want. You change your fish out at will. If you want to put a sea monster in there, knock yourself out. Mermaids, knock yourself out. Kraken, whatever. City of Atlantis, whatever. And you can still have water in there to make it look real. Our tanks are they're submersible. So we're building stuff for the future. That's what we're working on. While we're dealing with a bunch of little jealous adolescents at the end of the day who feel that they wanted to basically try to destroy what I build. Well, I'm going to explain something to you for you trolls out there. As I told you before, I'm going to make money off you. I'm going to hire some people that are going to be designed to figure out where you're at. Once we find your video, we find a video of you saying some stuff you're not supposed to be saying. We're going to copy your video, stick it onto a flash drive, and then we're going to have a cyber investigator go in and figure out where you lay your head at. And then we can send you a nice little letter from our company, from our legal department, with the flash drive, and it's showing you in the video making the statements that you're being sued for. And then the letter will explain what's going to happen and how much money you're going to be sued for. And there you go. You're going to sue our trolls. And then you can go to court and you can explain yourself how you self-snitched on yourself, how we have you in the video making statements at myself. It's a scam, it's a ripoff, not to be trusted, da. There you go. You're going to owe me $1 million. Because I'm suing you all for millions. There's going to be $12,000, we're at small claims court. We may do that with some people, but most people at the end of the day are going to get those $1 million hits. Now, well, that's basically about it. I'm going to go take a look at this warehouse. Hopefully it has a loading deck on it, a loading dock. Loading dock, yeah, loading dock. And right now, he should be up, and then I go by him. He's a certified forklift operator, so I need him because he's going to help me train some people to operate a forklift, because we will need a forklift, especially for the amount of stuff we're going to be shipping out. We definitely need a forklift. A couple of them. I need a couple of them. Let's see what this thing is like first. If this guy basically has a good deal on these forklifts, I can get a couple from him. That'd be nice. All right, with that being said, best I can say at the end of the day is for those people at the end of the day, mind you, he doesn't have the business anymore. But he doesn't have the business anymore. Yeah, y'all need to go look into that. All right, that's up to y'all. You know, I'm just leaving it. It's out of my hands. I just got to take care of what I got to take care of, but just leave it at that. Y'all have a good one.